So I've seen what success looks like in trucking, and I've seen what failure looks like in trucking, and I've seen what success looks like in life and in business, and I've seen what failure looks like in life and in business. And with all that perspective, in this video, I'm gonna share with you what I'm gonna call 10 principles for success as a new owner operator or as a new truck driver. The Helpful Trucker is a partner with Trucker Path, America's most popular app for truckers. Hundreds of thousands of truckers all over the country use the app every day to find the closest truck stop, available parking, weigh station information, fuel pricing, as well as truck optimized routing. Join the community of nearly 1 million active drivers and get a 14-day trial today for free by visiting thehelpfultrucker.com/truckerpath or by clicking the link in the description of this video. Maurice Vader, Helpful Trucker here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I make helpful trucking videos, but more importantly, I make helpful videos. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you what I call principles for success for new owner operators and new truck drivers. Let's get right in. The first tip that I'm gonna share with you is when you are new as a trucker, especially new as an owner operator, you wanna keep in mind that this business is about relationships. It's gonna rely heavily on who you know. So in short, what I would recommend is that from day one, you wanna be building a network. You wanna be accumulating a network of people that you can go to when you need things. And who should be included in the network? Well, everybody that you think you may need when it comes to building your trucking business, when it comes to establishing yourself as an owner operator. You need to have a network, of course, of carriers and shippers. You need to have a network of direct customers that can pay you. You need to have a network of mechanics that you can rely on, good mechanics. You need to have a network of other truck drivers that you can go to as well. This way, whenever you find yourself needing anything, well, the best way to do anything that you're trying to do is typically gonna be through referral. It's typically gonna be through asking somebody. So your insurance is too high and you need some help on insurance, getting more affordable insurance. You can go to your network, right? You need work done on your truck. If you got a good mechanic, in my opinion, access to a good mechanic consists of somebody that is gonna fix your truck in a timely fashion, not have you spending money on stuff that you don't need to spend money on. And that's also hopefully gonna let you run a tab with them as well, because there may be some times that cash is short, that you don't have the money. And there also may be some times that you need to be able to get in and out. You don't always wanna have to go in and wait at the end of the mechanic's line to get your truck worked on. So, you know, as far as where to find all of these things, this is where having access to a network of other truckers, a network of mechanics, a network of people that are doing what it is that you want to do, so that when you need something, you can go to these people and ask them for help. And keep in mind also, we're in a digital world now. So believe it or not, one of the most helpful resources that you could tap into is Facebook groups, truck driver specific Facebook groups, because you can people are there to help you and to answer your questions. So you can join Facebook groups meant for owner operators, meant for new truck drivers, and you can ask about jobs, you can ask about insurance, you can ask about work, you can ask about these things and get referrals from other people that have already been down the road that you're trying to go down. Tip number 2, keep your reputation good. Keep your reputation good. This may not sound like a big deal, but I live in a small town and everybody knows everybody. And when it comes to business, if you're not considered trustworthy in one area, right? If you're not looked at as a person that does what they need to do or does what they say they're gonna do, you know, if your credit is bad, because having bad credit is a matter of trust, right? If you can't be owing people money, okay? I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. And you need to be the type of person that's known for doing good work and doing what they're supposed to do. Again, in a small town where everybody knows everybody, it's easy for a person to know of something that you didn't do right in one category and then hold that against you in another category. It's easy for a person to see you as being not trustworthy because you did one thing wrong and then equate that to business. A lot of times when people are looking at doing business with somebody, especially in a small town, especially in a relationship type of business, if other people haven't had a good experience with you, then a lot of times people won't want to gamble on you. And that is true for credit as well. That's what people do when they look at your credit. If they see that you haven't had a good experience with other people, if they know other people have lent you money and you haven't had a good experience with them, chances are they aren't going to want to stick their neck out on the line in their dealings with you. So overall, what I'm saying with this second tip is you want to keep your reputation good. You want to keep your relationships good, and you want to keep your reputation good. Do what you say you're going to do. Pay people back if you're supposed to pay them back. And that brings me to the next tip, which you probably know this already. Of course, keep your driving record clean. Keep your driving record clean, because that's going to affect your insurance. And of course, as an owner operator, that is going to be one of your biggest expenses. Maybe not. The biggest expense on this truck is not the insurance, it's the fuel, but the insurance is the biggest fixed expense on this truck. And you may experience that as well as a new owner operator. So of course, you want to make sure you take your time and you make sure you keep your driving record clean. The fourth tip, pay attention to fuel prices. Pay attention to fuel prices and make sure you shouldn't have a problem with counting your pennies, okay? Because in my opinion, this industry, especially for owner operators, it's kind of set up like there's so many people that feed off of owner operators. There's so many industries, there's so many jobs that are paid via the fees and all of the stuff that's associated with being out here on the road as an owner operator. So if you're not watching your bottom dollar closely, you can find yourself getting nickeled and dime, okay? Getting nickeled and dime. And obviously when it comes to fuel prices, right? If you're filling up, if you're getting 300 gallons, 50 cents a gallon can make a huge difference when you're dealing with that amount of fuel. So make sure you keep an eye on fuel prices. That can save you a lot of money. The fifth tip, keep your equipment up. Absolutely keep your equipment up. An owner operator needs to have a maintenance schedule that they get their truck checked on. And again, we're dealing with a good mechanic that's not gonna be having you repair stuff that doesn't need to be repaired, but you need to have a maintenance schedule and you need to have a maintenance budget as well. And of course, whenever anything goes wrong with the truck, you wanna be dealing with a mechanic that's gonna let you run a tab if you need to, but you obviously want to be able to cover those expenses as they come up, because having a bill at the end of the year, okay, I thought I was making money all year until you have to settle on this huge mechanic bill because you didn't have a maintenance budget and you weren't taking out maintenance every single week and putting it aside so that you could handle breakdowns when they come up. Tip number 6, do the right thing with your money. Do the right thing with your money. As far as owner operators not doing, or let me rephrase that, as far as business owners not doing the right thing with their money, that's a huge problem. Like, there's a lot of business owners that aren't in the habit of doing the right thing with their money. And myself I'm probably included with that as well. We see highly paid actors, entertainers, athletes that make millions of dollars for years, and then you hear about them one day being broke, and you ask yourself, how in the world could they have made that amount of money for all those years and be broke? And the same way that they end up in that situation is the same way that an owner operator or even a person just working for someone can end up in that same exact situation. The problem is that individual does not invest in assets that pay them. They don't think about the day that they don't want to box anymore, or they may not want to play football or play baseball or play basketball anymore. They don't think about that day. All they understand is they're making millions of dollars right now. And then when that day inevitably comes, they have gotten used to living a lifestyle that they really can't afford if they were making a normal amount of money. And not only can that happen to athletes and entertainers and famous people, but that also happens to owner operators as well. You have to be in the habit of doing the right thing with your money. Maintaining your equipment is one thing you want to do, and also making sure you take the steps to fund your own retirement. Basically what I'm saying is you want to make provisions for the day when you don't want to drive the truck anymore, because there is gonna come a day when you don't want to drive the truck anymore, or there may come a day when you're not able to drive the truck anymore for whatever reason. And when that happens, you want to be in the position where you can still live the same lifestyle without having to get in the truck, without having to drive the truck. And so what I'm saying with this tip is make sure you take the time as an owner operator. Nobody's gonna force you to do the right things with your money. It's up to you to do the right things with your money. And again, I've said it before, it's a poor rat that has one hole to go and get cheese out of. And so if the only way of making money consists of you getting in the truck and driving, that's good while you're able to drive. That's good while you want to drive. If the only way of you making money is by you going out and performing or playing basketball or singing or doing whatever, that's fine. As long as you can sing, as long as you can perform that duty, you can make that money and you can live the lifestyle that money affords you. But as soon as you can't do that anymore, if you've gotten yourself used to living too high of a lifestyle, or you haven't replaced the income to finance that lifestyle, that is how owner operators and famous people end up broke after making money for years and years and years. So as a new owner operator, choose from day one to begin formulating the habits that'll put you where you want to be financially within the next 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, however long you plan to be on the road. And I kind of spoke about the next tip number 7, and what I've already said is, you need to know your numbers as an owner operator. So many owner operators that I speak with don't know their numbers. And I'll ask a person a question in regards to how many miles they may have ran on a particular week, or what a load pays that they're being given regularly after fuel costs come out. And when an owner operator can't answer those kinds of simple questions, what that means is you don't know your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, you don't know if you're profitable. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know if you're profitable. So it's important that you watch your bottom line, pay attention to your fuel prices, again, know your numbers so that you can know if you're actually bringing home profit or not. Tip number 8, treat being an owner operator just like a real business, because it is a real business. What I really mean by that is, generally speaking, a person starting a business understands that they're not going to make profit for maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe even 5 years before their business becomes profitable. And this kind of goes back to doing the right thing with your money. One thing you want to understand is, as an owner operator, is just because you made the money and just because you put it in your bank account doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna stay there. It's not necessarily about what you make, it is about what you keep. And what you keep, we talk, taxes and overhead and all of that good stuff, but I'm mainly talking about overhead at this point, because, things can happen with the truck, right? Things can happen with the truck, and you can think that money sitting in your account is profit, is yours, until something happens with the truck, or until something happens with your run, right? Either one of those can easily happen. So you need to definitely treat it like a real business, because it absolutely is a real business, which means don't necessarily count your money as soon as you put it in your bank account. Again, there's gonna be, especially when you're first starting, expect there to be unexpected things that are gonna come up. And so if you feel like every dollar you put in your savings account is really there to stay, and you're not really preparing yourself, you're not necessarily preparing yourself for incidentals to come up, then you're leaving yourself exposed. Again, you may think you profited X amount of dollars at the end of the year, only to find out after a big breakdown or after a big slowdown that can change really, really, really quick. The 9th tip to success as a truck driver, as a new owner operator, is think long term. Chances are high you're not gonna come out here and make a bunch of money, a bunch of profit in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, okay? Chances are you're gonna have to be out here a while. It's a learning curve. It absolutely is a learning curve. And because of that, your decisions that you make You want to be in a position where you can make decisions for the long term, as opposed to just making decisions based around what's good today. When you're in that mindset of being in a position where you're just making decisions based on what is good today, a lot of the times those decisions are not necessarily what's good long term. So, you know, generally speaking, instead of just bandaging a problem, you want to fix the problem, because bandaging it means the problem is going to come up again. That's a short-term solution. Thinking long-term means you're gonna fix the things that need to be fixed, and that is not necessarily just in regards to the truck, but that's in regards to all things: the truck, your paperwork, how you're set up, the whole 9 yards. You want to be thinking long-term, because you want things to get easier over the years of you being out here on the road, and that will only happen as a result of you making good decisions when you get started. And the 10th tip to success as a owner-operator, as a new trucker, is take care of your health. You can Google the statistics yourself. Truck drivers are extremely unhealthy. Trucking is considered an unhealthy profession. It's not that trucking is an unhealthy profession, but truck drivers overall are unhealthy. And the reason being is because it's so easy to be unhealthy when you live a life on the road, right? So trucking is a lifestyle, especially for owner operators. You're gonna be running all week, and when you get home on the weekend, you're gonna be taking care of the truck, and you're gonna find yourself feeling like you don't have a lot of time to actually take care of yourself, right? So make sure you take time to take care of yourself. I was listening to a friend of mine yesterday talk about all the things that he has to take care of. He's a truck driver. Talk about all the things he's responsible for in his world and that he has to take care of. And I told him, after he rolled off like 15 things, I'm like, and you forgot yourself. And you forgot yourself. So it's easy to forget yourself, especially as a new owner operator. It's easy to feel so overwhelmed with, especially if you got a family, especially if you got things going on at home. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. So make sure you take time to take care of your health, take care of yourself, exercise, try to eat right as much as you can, and try to stay active as much as you can. There you have it, 10 principles for success for new owner operators, for new truck drivers. If you got value from the video, don't forget to go down below and smash the like button.